wrestling fans, again, we're here to mention the fact that earlier today, as of the day we're recording the video, Bruno Sammartino passed away at the age of 82. His health had been failing as of late, and he was, I believe, was hospitalized at the time, and he did have his family with him. So, I don't think he was probably in bad spirits at all. The man led an incredible life.
He was very fortunate to have lived at all.
Yeah.
And to make it to 82 and be as legendary as he is, this guy isn't leaving anything unfinished.
Yeah. He set some weightlifting world records prior to starting WWE. That's actually what had the WWE guys kind of catch the eye.
Yeah.
Is setting I believe there's at least one bench pressing world record at the time for like 595 pounds. Something like that. And, then they got him in, they had him start wrestling, and the rest is history. He's got 2 championship reigns that accumulatively will never, ever be surpassed, let alone anybody even coming close to touching. His one reign lasted like 7, almost 8 years.
Yeah, I think combined he held the title for a little over 11 years.
Yeah.
With a cumulative over 4,000 days as champion. We'll never ever see that. Let alone in our lifetime, it'll probably never happen ever again.
No, leaving a legacy like that, he had his last match in WWE, teamed with Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was a good passing of the torch kind of moment. I think they went against King Kong Bundy and Andre or something like that.
Yeah,
I think
he retired the year I was born.
Yeah,
he retired in 1987.
And there was a long time where it felt like there was always going to be unfinished business between Bruno Sammartino and professional wrestling.
Right.
Until Triple H kind of mended the bridge and eventually got Bruno Sammartino to accept an induction into the Hall of Fame a few years ago.
Yeah, 2014, same year as Ultimate Warrior.
And
we actually got to see him induct Larry Zbyszko the next year.
Yeah.
So, which is a guy he helped majorly as far as his in-ring career.
And, being a record setter for the most anyone has ever sold out Madison Square Garden 181 times.
Yeah, that'll be hard to beat.
Yeah. No band or performer or other wrestling main eventer could do that, in my opinion. The amazing career and life. The man had a huge zest for life. He loved everything. He loved America. He was an embodiment of what the American dream means. And,
Italian-born, Pittsburgh native.
Yeah. So it's a great honor to even be able to talk about somebody like Bruno Sammartino, and to know, I don't remember who tweeted it out earlier today, but somebody said without what Bruno Sammartino did, nothing you would watch on WWE television or any other professional wrestling would exist.
Wow.
So our condolences go to his family, his friends, and all the other current crop of professional wrestlers who knew him and were starting to build relationships with him, asking for advice and whatnot. And Bruno Sammartino, we know he will rest in power.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're rounding out episode 195 with the return to Full Sail of NXT. We still don't have Lucha Underground, so we're just talking about the one show, but a couple months, it'll be back.
We're excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So we open up with the newly reinstated Johnny Gargano and his wife Candice LeRae talking about how tough the last few months have been dealing with Tommaso Ciampa. Johnny has his eyes set on trying once again to capture the NXT Championship, now from Aleister Black.
Lofty goal.
But Candice LeRae has a main event match coming up with Zelina Vega. So we'll talk about that in a second. We both had Killian Dain and Lars Sullivan talking about their respective sides of their no DQ match that we'll talk about in a little bit. Ricochet made his Full Sail debut and defeated Fabian Eichner with a 630. The War Raiders made their Full Sail debut and defeated Deuce and Domino Light. What were the names?
JC and Chris.
Yeah.
They probably had a last name, but Morrow probably forgot.
And it probably didn't matter because War Raiders beat their last names off of them. Shayna Baszler established herself at the top by pretty much taking over the women's locker room, even cutting off and pushing to the side Serena Deeb, who was like talking to all of the NXT women. Shayna don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that they're using to just further instill the fact that Shayna Baszler is essentially a giant bully.
Yes, and she's good at it. In 2 weeks, we will get the finest Kona Reeves. Pete Dunne says that
Shouldn't be hard to do because there haven't been much fine Kona Reeves before now. So
I don't have high hopes for this Kona Reeves either. Pete Dunne says that he'll show us in a couple weeks exactly how he feels about Roderick Strong.
He's going to rip his head off.
Yep. Lars Sullivan defeated Killian Dain with a freak accident onto a pile of chairs. Next week, we will get the Undisputed Era live, talking about the switch for Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole will defend the North American Championship against Oney Lorcan. And then in the main event, Candice LeRae defeated Zelina Vega with the Gargano escape, while Johnny Gargano had it on Andrade Cien Almas. And then at the end, Johnny officially challenged Aleister Black, and apparently we're going to be having a title match next week as well.
Yeah, so 2 championship matches set for next week.
Holy shit. We're hitting it hard here in Full Sail all of a sudden. But with that being said, what did you like about NXT?
What did I like about NXT? I'm just going to go with that Shayna Baszler moment backstage.
Yeah. She's...
The one thing I wish there would have been more reaction from the other women in the locker room. Most of them just kind of sat there like, okay, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, the only one that really did anything was Dakota Kai. She got up and left the room because she was going to get water, but she didn't really want to step up to Shayna because they've got a little bit of history.
There was no act of defiance. There was no real feeling of dread or terror. It was just kind of it almost felt to me like they didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And she just went in there, did that, and they all just kind of went, oh, okay.
Yeah, Serena didn't even make much of a fuss about it, and she was, she's one of the trainers. So, it was a little strange, but it's a good moment for her.
Yeah.
She did a really good job of delivering the fact that you either get in line behind me or you get run over. So, she made it very apparent. I really liked Ricochet's Full Sail debut, especially going against someone like Fabian Eichner.
Yeah.
They killed it in that opening match.
Yeah, Fabian Eichner is one of those debut guys now.
Yeah, which, at least he's getting TV time because, they won't give it to him any other way. But
just watch out because he's the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. He takes everybody else to the next level. I really love Ricochet's entrance, the whole laser thing going on, that's so cool. And then just the fact that Ricochet is in NXT, I fucking love it. So yeah, that is my like for NXT. What did you love?
The no disqualification match.
Yep,
was really good.
They beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, they did. It had a lot of really well-timed spots.
Yeah.
And that's not something you get a lot when you have two big guys
Yeah.
against each other, because a lot of the times big guy matches end up being super clunky and clumsy because they're not used to working giant guy versus giant guy,
Right.
and they're not used to having to rely on themselves to do any of the reversals or the fancy things, versus, when they're going against somebody smaller who can do all the slides off the backs and the jumps and the spins.
Yeah.
Where these guys didn't hesitate to do all the counters and all the cool things and display agility and get all their spots timed perfectly, and the teases for the table spots and all this kind of stuff. It's something I didn't really expect to go that well.
Yeah.
And it way exceeded my expectations, and that's why it's on my love list.
Yeah, I mean, it's on mine too. Just for the fact that they were able to show us so many different things. Like, I didn't even know it was a no disqualification match until they started touting it. Like, I knew they were going to face each other, but the no DQ, I was like, okay, that gives them the ability to just kind of like fight anywhere and do that.
Yeah. Essentially, what it felt like at first is that it could have been a cop out.
Yeah, exactly.
They can be violent, and that will make up for the fact that they're not going to have like a great storytelling style match.
Right.
But in turn, all it did was amp up a match that was really good.
Yeah, and like you were saying, the teases for the table when Lars caught Killian, when Killian went for the divide, and like he barely backed up a step when he caught Killian, and then he just dropped him. It was great. It was a great moment for both those guys, and I really, with Sanity moving up to SmackDown now, it was good that Lars got that win to keep himself looking strong and being one of the dominant forces on the NXT roster. Did you dislike anything?
Not really. I mean, and I mentioned this before we started filming, is my number one complaint about the whole show was I wish they would have given more time to Candice and Zelina.
Yeah.
So I say as like a production note, I would have left the War Raiders debut for next week.
Yeah, especially since we saw them last week.
Yeah, and I feel like it could have been like a good way to revitalize the crowd, because if they're going to have 2 title matches next week, it'd be good, like, if the crowd wears down after, cheering during the North American Championship match, then seeing a team like the War Raiders debut in Full Sail, that would get the energy back up and going into the championship match later.
And watching them just completely destroy a couple of jobbers.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. My dislike is, how many chances are we going to give Kona Reeves? I don't know how I feel about this. He looks extra, like every time they re-debut him, he gets extra creepy.
Yeah. Like
the hair doesn't help. The being shirtless under the blazer doesn't help either. It's a whole lot of creep factor, and I'm not necessarily excited about it.
Yeah. I'm not going to take anything away from his talent.
Yeah, no.
Because as an in-ring guy, he's kind of got all the tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hoping that this kind of just... I think they're going to try and get the vibe pseudo when, like, the heel Tyler Breeze.
Yeah, I can see them going... I can see them going for that. He's definitely...
Or like a villain in Hawaii 5-0.
That makes way more sense because he's actually from Hawaii, I think.
Probably. His name is Kona.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna hold out hope, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm disliking the gimmick so far. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm disliking it because he wants me to.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's doing it to get popular.
Probably not. So we'll see in 2 weeks if Kona Reeves can move out of my dislike list. But with that being said, I think we are done for episode 195. Thanks for watching, guys.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Click those links down below.
There are so many social media links.
There's also a podcast link.
That's what's this SoundCloud.
You can get all of our regular reviews in podcast form, and there's Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
It's reasonable to W.
Like wrestling, where we have a brand new list video, The List with Kevin Hawk. He talks about his top 10 favorite WrestleMania
Absolutely.
matches. We're going to be having a brand new video.
Question of the week.
Question of the week, hosted by Thomas Wolfe. He asks us questions, we give him answers, and then he decides which one he likes better. You'll get that pretty soon. And, of course, we will get a brand new unboxing.
That box?
Yeah. Best of the Indies 3. With a whole lot of Bullet Club going on in here. So, looking forward
Which is good because get that Bullet Club while it's still available.
Hey, Bullet Club's fine.
All right, Kevin.
And you can check out our punishment videos and all of our other videos that are loosely based around wrestling. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
You know what we'll never make a video about?
Fuck Modus. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm starting over. That was all junk.
Good job.
My tongue didn't work. I don't know what the fuck that was. All right, we're gonna start this again.
It's what you're gonna put at the end of the video.
Yep.